Are you ready to rock?
Awesome.
Welcome everybody to Current Status. Um, I'm Phoummala Schmidt, and I've got two of my girlfriends here. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Sure,
Sure. I'm Melissa Palmer, and you are.
I'm Theresa Miller.
So you guys are probably wondering what Current Status is. Current Status is basically an opportunity for us as friends to basically show everybody what we can do. We are women in tech. We're not boring. We are fun, but yet we can still speak technology. The concept came about, I'm going to say about a year ago, when I was really frustrated with my career. I actually almost quit IT, and one of the things that I thought about was I really liked IT. I just didn't like the environment I was in, and what am I going to do about it? Do I quit and go into business or some other field, or do I stay and make a change, make a difference? So I thought about it, and it was several months later that I thought, okay, I'm going to make a difference. And the idea of a podcast came into play. I figured, why not show people what IT really is? It's more than just a bunch of guys that go in a conference room and whiteboard all day and play Masters of the Universe. It's women, it's men, it's sometimes kids. It's everything. We're all human. It's we're not all nerds. So I thought, why not show that and share that to the rest of the world that, we can be fun people and we just don't wear khaki pants and plaid shirts. I have pink fingernails.
What? So
I
I.
curl my hair. I wear high heels and I love to drink wine. And I know a lot of people in tech like to do that as well. So I figured, why not do something that we can share our likes and dislikes and show the world that, we're not so boring. So the idea came about, and I thought, what better way to do it than with some friends? And I have some wonderful friends that I met through actually technology, through Twitter, and Theresa I met at a conference last year. She's a dear friend who helped me actually go through my struggles last year, and she was actually the first person that I wanted to do this with. So, and then a couple months later, Melissa came into the picture. I've always known Melissa through Twitter, but we met at VMworld this year, and we just clicked. I figured, what better way than with two people that I really like and who have gone through some of the experiences I have, and we can relate to each other. So here we are, November 6th, and we're about to show the world what we're about. We're fun. I message each other almost every day.
All the time.
All the time.
We talk. I actually want to tell people. I wish people could see what we message each other. It's just absolutely hilarious. Some days we talk about George Clooney's hot, sexy wife, legs. Hey, what do you think about the best practices for Exchange DR? Should we really do that on a production server? Yeah, that's actually been discussed in several threads. It's amazing how I'm able to have these conversations with two women that are in, complete different states. Theresa is in Wisconsin, Melissa's in New Jersey, I'm in Pennsylvania, yet we have such intimate, details about each other. We share lots of secrets and we joke with each other, and we're there to support each other. If I'm having an impulse shopping moment that I want to spend $500 on Michael Kors bag,
I
yeah,
usually tell you to do it, so
yeah,
I don't know if
yep.
it's a good thing or not.
Let's just go for it. If it's on sale, just do it. It's like, no. So, I mean, it's just amazing, and I'm really glad that I'm here with you guys. So, I guess.
I'm glad to be here too.
So, why did you guys want to do this with me?
So, for me, when you approached me about it, I really loved the idea of hanging out with the girls. So, we do work with mostly men, and you guys are awesome and smart, and my opportunity to hang out with you guys. Now, another interesting fact is Missy and I didn't really know each other until a couple of months ago, I think. Yeah, and
it's because of me.
I feel like I know you really well. Yeah,
we've never even met in person. We've both met Agent P here, Exchange Goddess, but we haven't met each other yet.
Yeah, but I feel like you're a close friend. We've been hanging out almost every day, texting and emailing and sharing ideas, so it's been wonderful. Yeah. So aside from hanging with the girls, I think that this is just really a great way to, share information. We have, we'll talk about in greater detail later in the podcast, but we have some great tech conversations planned up and coming, and it's just exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it is really exciting. Like I said, Agent P and I have been talking on Twitter for I don't know how long, and I always call people by their Twitter handles and their Twitter names. So I'll call them her Agent P. Why not?
Everybody does.
So we've been talking and like DMing for I don't know how long, and then finally we were getting to the point where we're getting closer to VMworld, and we started talking about the V Brown Bag architecture panel we were going to be on together. So that was the first time we actually met, was when we sat down at VMworld and V Brown Bag and our architecture panel, and actually we were both working booths at VMware too, so we got to meet there, and like she said, we just kind of clicked and we started chatting, and eventually she brought up the podcast idea. And she's like, and I know this other great woman, Theresa. She's awesome. I'm like, yeah, I'd love to meet her. Let's do this. So it's really just an opportunity for, 3 friends that are geographically dispersed across the country to meet up and talk tech and hopefully be informative and entertaining and funny. All of the above. We hope that we teach our viewers something about the current trends. When we have our guest hosts in, we hope that they add value to the equation too. And it's all about talking tech and having fun together.
I think the big thing for me is you see all these articles about the top 20 women in IT that are making a difference in the top 10, and I read them, and yes, they're amazing women that are listed, but they're all CEOs or models for a game, and I always wonder, what about the real women in IT, the women that actually keep the systems running? The tech specialist, the person on the help desk, or the exchange administrator of a global company that keeps an enterprise of thousands of people running. I mean, nobody knows about the real women, or not a lot of people do. My background is obviously Exchange, because I'm doing this Exchange Goddess, but I also do virtualization and storage. And a lot of people don't know that I built the virtualization environment for a global enterprise that operates in over 35 countries. I built those hosts with my bare hands. I cut them a little bit, but I mean, I spent months on it, and a lot of people don't know that was done by a woman. And yeah, some people say it's not a big deal, but I take that with pride though, and I was doing that while managing an Exchange environment at the same time. So it's a pretty big accomplishment, and you don't hear that from the stories out there, the top 10 or 15 women in IT. You don't hear stories about the real warriors like us, the boots on the ground.
The people in the trenches, that's us.
Like Theresa. I mean, Theresa worked in a large healthcare organization that did almost the same thing I did. But, you don't hear stories like that. You see, the big names, and it's wonderful that they're listed, but I wish there was more opportunity to show people like us, that we are making a difference. I've kept, emails running for thousands of people. CIOs, CEOs, their phones are always getting email, or their Oracle databases are running, things like that. They don't know about us. This gives us an opportunity to show that there are there are people out there. There are women in tech, but there are real people that keep us going. And we're fun.
We are.
Yeah, we're just like everybody else. I'm just as crazy as everybody else. I love to drink, have a good time, love to party, but I also work very hard.
So, Phoummala,
Yes.
can I ask you a question?
How did
it'll cost me?
Yes.
Well, you can have a sip of wine.
I already cheated on several, so.
So, how did you get started in tech?
It was actually about 11 years ago. I was going through a divorce, and I was a mother of 2 young boys. I actually didn't have a job, or I had a part-time job. I was working at QVC in a warehouse at night. My ex-husband was deployed overseas, and I needed to do something with my life. And I asked my cousin, what do I do? And she said, what do you want to do? What do you like to do? I said, I love computers, but they told me in high school that you have to be really smart and you need to be really good in math. And so I'm not really good in math, and I figured, nah. She's like, well, if you like it, then try it. So she persuaded me, and I went back to school, and I graduated with honors, and here I am 11 years later, running global enterprises and trying to take the world over. But it's been a hard road, though. I mean, I struggled a lot. But it's definitely been worth it. I don't think I would change anything that I've done. But it's just been an interesting road. How did you get started, Theresa?
So, I started in the 90s, which I think was really kind of an interesting time to start in tech. I was in school, and at the time I thought I was going to be an accountant. And I took my first accounting class, and I knew I was not going to be an accountant. So a friend of mine had already started in the program that I ended up going into. He was working into a program that was a business computer degree. And I thought, boy, that sounded really interesting because, like you said, the science programs were probably more math heavy. For me, the business aspect made more sense. So thankfully, he suggested that to me because here I am, still today, doing tech and loving it. As for the journey there, I think I've done every aspect of IT there is. I've been the user. I've worked for resellers. I've done consulting. I did a long run in IT healthcare. And now I'm playing in the financial industry. So it's been fun, and I've really enjoyed it. So how about you, Missy?
For me, I have to say it started when my mom met my stepdad, and he bought her a computer for Valentine's Day. Which
That's really romantic.
Well, my stepdad's an engineer, and I was 8 at the time, and from the computer I had this notebook I used to write all my DOS commands in for my games. And like I said, he was in IT, he was really smart, has storage patents, did crazy network deployments, and it was something I kind of grew up around and was always interested in. So I went and I studied electrical engineering for my bachelor's and electrical engineering for my master's, but more focused in secure systems design and stuff like that. And I went straight into IT out of college, and I kind of lucked into virtualization. I was in a 2-year rotational program, so I did, desktop, I did things in process planning with IDLE, IT security, and virtualization. That's where I really found that I liked it, and I liked infrastructure. So I've kind of stuck with that to some degree. I was a customer for a long time, a virtualization engineer. I did Citrix, I did VDI, I did VMware. But eventually I went to the vendor side, and now I'm a systems engineer for NetApp. So I'm working a lot on the storage end of things.
I actually, little secret, I used to be an assistant to a buyer for a retail company. So that's my glamorous story. I worked in dresses, swimwear, and dresses and swimwear. And
Still have any of those connections?
actually, she actually teaches fashion merchandising now. But I think at one point I had over 20 or 30 bathing suits because I just happened to be the sample size. Same thing with the shoes too. The shoe buyer was a couple cubicles down, and the shoe samples were just happened to be my size. So I lucked out really, really well. But that was probably one of the fun jobs that I had. But even in that job, even though it was a business type role, I was the technical person. So this career has always kind of been in the background. Like I was always very intrigued by technology. I think being the end user, it's, in various stages of my life has really helped my career because when I do projects, I always put myself in the user's perspective. How would the user feel if this happened to them? How would I feel?
How would I feel if my Citrix login took 2 minutes? I would not be so happy.
Right. I can't print my labels, for the conference badge or the label for this meeting. I would be pretty upset. And as a sysadmin, oh, that's just the print server. Who cares? No big deal. We don't need to back that up. But as an administrative assistant though, or a payroll specialist, or somebody on the floor, that could be the end of the world for them. And having that experience of being in those roles has really, I think, helped me understand the user and be more empathetic to them. So I try, when I do migrations and projects upgrades, I try to limit the impact to the user because I know I would hate it if I couldn't print my labels, or if I didn't get that picture of the cat, my brother's cat. I'd be absolutely upset. Or if my brother-in-law tried to send 50 meg files of his newborn baby through my work email. Things like that. I put myself in their shoes and think, that'd be really frustrating. I can't always, make miracles happen. I often do, but I try, and sometimes I don't. I'm only human. But that's a part of our that's another aspect of our show is the human side.
Right.
This is a judgment-free zone. No one's perfect, and egos are going to be thrown out the door. Yes, it's good to have a little bit of an ego, but here, judgment-free zone. Nobody's perfect. We're here to support each other, and just have a good time. Nobody's better than anybody else because I know I screw up all the time. At least 3 times a day.
That's what the backups are for. I'm just kidding.
That's what backups are for, but that's how we learn. We learn from our mistakes. That's how we become better people.
Oh, exactly.
And better admins.
There's no such thing as a mistake if you learn something from it. As long as you're learning and growing, when something happens, it's not a mistake. It's not an error. It's just an experience that made you better.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. If you keep repeating your mistakes, then you're not really.
Yeah, then you're not learning, and then we have a problem.
That actually happens a lot though in companies. I've worked in lots of companies, and sometimes they don't always learn from their mistakes, and I think, I always wonder why is that? Is it, is it just the social aspect, or is it budgetary, or is it just ignorance? I get confused by it. I'm like, you say you want to learn from your mistakes and let's make our projects better. But a lot of times we keep repeating ourselves. And I think the only way to really change that is to change yourself, and try to empower people and influence people sometimes to change a little bit, slowly. But hopefully maybe we can do, make a difference here.
Exactly.
I know I'll need to live now by next year.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Can you repeat that? Me and my internet
Do I need to go do the
issues.
DSL dance again?
Yeah, well,
Everybody,
actually, you did a pretty good job because
pray for
I just missed that one thing.
that is going to be our chant. Pray for Teresa's DSL. She is
Yeah.
awesome. If anybody wants to sponsor a satellite service for her, please. We're all for it. Now I totally forgot what I was going to say.
We're talking about learning and growing from our mistakes and hopefully helping people out with that. Maybe we should have like a once in a while a best practices session. If any new best practices have revealed themselves, we'll have to mention them to you in our respective technologies.
You know, you could have the best practice, you can have the standards and the policies, but if people don't follow them, what good are they? Just like you can have the best software or supposedly the best software, but if users aren't going to utilize them, what good is that? Like SharePoint. I mean, seriously.
That's a great example.
Yeah, it is the freaking pit of hell. But if you have users that utilize it properly, it's a great tool, even though it's the pit of hell.
The biggest issue is designing that in a way that people can make it useful. And then the people that use it love it, but nobody else wants it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a website, too. You could design the most beautiful website, and it can do all these fancy little things. But if you don't have anybody that updates it regularly, what good is it? You know, it's just going to look like shit again.
Yeah.
So, it's a double-edged sword. So it comes twofold. IT has to provide tools and services for the users that can empower the users, but the users also have to take responsibility to empower.
They have to use the tools because if they don't use them, it's not going to help anybody.
Then you know what? At the end of the day, it makes IT look bad. It's like, oh, it's crap. But really, is it really crap? Is it the process? Because it could really be the process. Maybe the user's not doing it right, or maybe they're not doing it at all. And then at the end of the day, IT looks like shit. That's I've seen it happen, and it's frustrating. And I think sometimes maybe we just need to change that. But how do we change it? I guess that's a big question. I mean, how do we change that mentality of always blaming IT when really let's rethink. Let's look at this. Is it really IT's fault, or is it our process? Is it our users?
I think some of that starts with leadership, though. I think if an organization has the right communication above the IT staff, and they have the right level of understanding. They don't have to be super technical, but they have to have the right level of understanding, and they can help bridge that gap. But I think, unfortunately, without the right leaders there, then it does fall on us.
But do the leaders really understand what's going on? Are they so far out of reach?
It depends. Depends on the organization. It depends on the operational maturity. It depends on how involved the leadership is with the people like us in the trenches.
Or how filtered. Because you can have leaders that, think that everything's fat, dumb, and happy, but really it's a shithole downstairs. But, everything's been so filtered to the top that who really knows what the truth is?
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, IT looks like shit again. Oh, that's one thing, yeah. There will probably be some foul language. Because that's just me. So, yeah, you probably don't want your kids to be watching this.
Yeah, I don't know if we have a children's show. I mean, we could certainly do,
well, my kids
version, but
almost 16-year-old. My teenager will probably be helping out. Yes, I'm a mother of 3 children. I have 2 teenagers and an 8-year-old. So, and I'll probably use the oldest to help out. Technically, he wants to be a DJ.
Awesome.
Yeah, DJs don't, make that much money. But in his eyes, DJs can make $500,000 a night, Mom.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're DJ Tiesto.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Vegas, maybe?
20 that make it that big, yeah. So
yeah. Oh, maybe he will.
Yeah, he's actually a radio DJ now for the high school radio station. So
Cool.
yes, and it's actually pretty amazing because he's Asperger's. If you're familiar with Asperger's, it's actually pretty amazing for him to make that social step. And I think it's easier for him to be behind technology because he's very natural at it, but in front of people, he struggles. So, okay, ladies. I think here, let's.
Why don't we talk about a little bit, like, this show's a little different because we want to get to know all you. Yeah. We want you to get to know us. But going forward, why don't we talk a little bit about what we want the show to be and how we think it's going to be structured?
Well, it's our show. We can do whatever we want.
Yes, that's true. That's true. We can do whatever we want. We reserve the right to change our mind at any time and do whatever we want.
But I think that's a wonderful segue into the next show, right? What we think we would like the upcoming shows to be, right?
Yeah, I mean, our next show is with Tom Hollingsworth, and we're going to be talking about the IT landscape and how it's changing and where we're headed. IT technology in general is changing.
It's changing fast.
Yeah, it's different than what it was 10, 15 years ago. I mean, wow, when I was in high school, did they have iPads in high school? No. I think our senior year, we were just getting email, and that was through AOL and Netscape. But technology has changed. It's changed the way the world is. My kids use iPads for their books now. They're not allowed to. Yeah, I mean, we text and message each other constantly. We build relationships based off technology. So this will be an interesting talk next week with Tom. And if there really are unicorns, fine.
I want to see them eating Skittles.
Yeah, lots of Skittles.
Well, Tom has he's got his famous unicorn. Maybe we can have Tom bring his unicorn. So if Tom's watching next week, please. Yeah, that would be great. If not, I'll just bring the picture of.
We'll just bring a picture of Tom and a picture of a unicorn and.
Kissing somebody at VMworld. I have several pictures. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, it's all over Twitter anyway. So.
Yeah, so if anybody's watching and they have a topic they would like to discuss with us or come join us on the show, we are more than happy to have you. We're going to try to have a different guest speaker every week to, add some different flavor to things.
Absolutely. So tweet us if you are interested in that. The current status for you. Sorry, I had to think about that for a minute.
Current status, number 4, letter U.
Yes.
And our hashtag is #current status. You can find us on Google+. You can also find us on the Petri website. The guys there were awesome and hooked us up with our own landing page since we all write for them. Very exciting. We got a lot of help from them. That was great. Thank you guys so much.
Yes, I think we should say huge fist bump to the guys and gals at Petri. They are awesome. They have been huge supporters. And we're so thankful that they helped us. We couldn't have asked for any more. I mean, Sean has been wonderful. I think, we had, nine versions of that page?
I think so.
Yeah.
Poor guy, he deserves like 3 bottles of wine after. Or, can you make this change, please? And he was just so nice. So thank you, Sean.
He was.
Yeah, so when we see you in person, which we are going to see you at some point, you definitely get a hug and a bottle of wine from me. Oh, and we should probably talk about what wine I'm drinking.
Oh, yes, absolutely. What wine are you drinking tonight, Agent P?
I'm drinking the Dreaming Tree Crush by, it's actually a wine by Dave Matthews. And I'm a big Dave fan. So it's a nice red blend. My neighbor actually is a wine broker, and he got me hooked on it. It's about $17 a bottle. It's cheap. And it tastes, it's a nice smooth wine. It's a good everyday wine, but I like it because it's Dave, and I like it, so that's why I drink it.
Sounds good.
We have to close with a sip of wine.
Yeah.
We should come up with a way we end the show. Like, we end the show the same way every time. I'm not sure what that is yet, and maybe viewers, you can help us, but we need like a signature kind of sign off. Maybe it's Agent P drinking a little bit of wine. I'm not sure yet.
I am on, I think, my fourth, going on my fifth glass now. I swear I'm going to do liver by the end of the year. They just put me forward on this. I know. Yeah. As long as I'm not in jail, it's good.
I think we decided Teresa's the one who was going to bail me and you out of jail, probably.
Yep. It is my job to keep you two in line or bail you out of jail.
Guaranteed I will probably be in trouble somewhere. Yes, so yeah, Theresa is our, I don't want to say our caretaker, but she's the responsible one. And Melissa and I, we're the ones probably getting into trouble. It's just like the hangover. You know, you always have the two that go out and get a little rowdy and cause some ruckus, and that's definitely...
Ruckus at the booth.
Yes, that is definitely me. So, and Theresa will keep us in line and kind of pull us back when we need to be. Bail money. Well, actually, my bail money's in Australia, so it's all my bail money.
You know, I need an excuse to go to Australia.
I love Australia. And the thing is, like, if you breathe in that country, I think it could kill you. I mean, they've got like bugs, snakes. I think they have frogs that can kill you. I'd love to get somebody from Australia to join this show. Maybe
I think we could probably find someone.
Yeah, I heard there's like.
I think so too. I know a few pretty awesome Australians.
I want a kangaroo though. I still want a kangaroo. So if anybody that
could someone send Agent P a kangaroo, please?
I don't want a stuffed animal kangaroo because I already have one. I want a real live kangaroo. I want, you know, like a furry little animal, like a dog. But I want to put like a leash on it. So if somebody can get a kangaroo,
can't we just get a kangaroo costume for a dog? So
that's the goal. If somebody can get me a kangaroo, I'd be so happy. A real kangaroo too.
Awesome.
Stuffed kangaroo. And they use last time.
All right.
Well,
so I think we're about at time.
Is it time?
It is time.
That went really fast.
It did.
Gosh, I don't know why.
We'll start our own hangout after.
Yeah, so to our viewers who have watched this, Agent P has had her signature sip of wine ending the show from Agent P, 24/7 IT Connect, and myself, VMIS33. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We look forward to talking to you next week. You can find us on Twitter, #CurrentStatus, or @CurrentStatus4You. Everybody have a great Friday tomorrow and have a lovely weekend, and we'll see you this time next week.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.